Monday was an historic moment for the National Football League in the cause of seeking to stamp out what we're learning are a wide-reaching number of cases in sports on sexual violence and abuse. Monday was the day the league's investigator questioned a woman who claims former 49er and current Dallas Cowboys player C.J. Spillman attempted to rape her. We now see how serious the NFL is about going after possible offenders. Let's welcome to MidPoint, a true pioneer in the cause of women's rights. Her firm handles more women's rights cases than any other private law firm in the nation, and she is the lawyer of record in this case for the young lady in question, Gloria Allred. Gloria, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks very much for inviting me.
Gloria, after the entire questioning session was held on Monday, it went for about 5 hours. Are you satisfied that the investigator sent by the NFL was actually trying to learn the truth?
Well, the NFL investigators who flew out from New York in order to interview my client, and again, my client is a person who filed a police report in California last year against C.J. Spillman, alleging that he sexually assaulted her, I feel they are taking it seriously. 5.5 hours of questioning of my client, and I have a question for the NFL. Will C.J. Spillman answer 5.5 hours of questions from the NFL about this alleged incident? I'm very curious about that. I'm also interested in the fact that the questioning was intense, it was thorough, it was detailed, and the investigators seemed to take it seriously. But again, I'm looking forward to what the outcome is going to be. After all, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, in his September 19th press conference, said he wanted to get his NFL house in order in reference to sexual assault allegations and domestic violence. He wanted to get it right. This is the very first test since he retained the former Manhattan prosecutor who used to prosecute sex crimes, Lisa Friel, and her associate formerly with the Manhattan DA's office. They're the ones that came out here to do this first investigation of a sexual assault allegation. What's going to be the outcome? What is the NFL going to do? Is this going to be a violation of their personal conduct policy? If it is, what are the consequences that are going to be imposed? These are the questions that I have. I want the answers, and we don't have a time frame for the NFL investigation to conclude, and we'll have to see what the outcome is. Of course, I also represent a second person who also filed a police report, not in California as the first one did, but in Texas, and against the same NFL player, C.J. Spillman. There is no arrest yet. They haven't made a decision in Texas as to whether or not there'll be a prosecution. They are still investigating. So let's see what the NFL is going to do about that, if anything.
Gloria, you sound as if you are not convinced whatsoever, just by the tone of your conversation, some of the questions you have, that Roger Goodell and the NFL is deadly serious about taking care of this. It almost sounds like many people believe that they would really prefer this just get shoved under the carpet, make it go away, take as little action as possible. Let's move on and make money.
Well, I'm not going to let them go away. And as I said to the investigators yesterday, justice delayed is justice denied. We would like a thorough but a speedy investigation of these issues. And I know they're going to be thorough. They're going to be looking at other witnesses, other evidence. But, you know, I also had questions about what is their standard going to be for a violation of their personal conduct policy.
Well, you've mentioned that a couple of times. I do want to bring that up, the personal conduct policy that the National Football League has. Would you say that just looking at talking to your clients here that you have involved, knowing what you know about this policy, that in essence it is a complete sham, that is really something that is rarely used and really is not worth the print, the ink that it's used to put it on paper?
Well said, and that is really the important question. And I know that recently when I was in New York meeting with the NFL representatives and investigators, the owners were also meeting in New York to review their personal conduct policy and whether it needs to be changed. So, the personal conduct policy that I allege may have been violated was one that has been in existence for quite a while And it says that it is not necessary for an arrest or a prosecution for an NFL player to have violated the policy. If there's any conduct on their part that could affect the integrity of the NFL or undermine public confidence in the NFL, such as an act that is sexual assault or domestic violence, then there can be serious discipline imposed on a player or a team if they don't report it to the NFL promptly.
But they've never used it before, Gloria. It's never been used. There have been drug cases. There have been assault cases. There have been cases where a player actually was involved in vehicular manslaughter and continued to play at that time. So it would seem as if the NFL simply isn't listening. They don't care. Almost seems like they're saying, come get us. We'll go ahead and take care of you. We'll make you go away with a couple of bucks. That's the way it sounds almost.
Well, they're not going to make our clients go away with a couple of bucks because, for one thing, I wouldn't accept any money from the NFL, and nor would my clients, nor are my clients seeking any money at all. They've not filed a claim. They haven't filed a lawsuit.
Will you be filing one? Will you be filing a lawsuit? Do you think you will go the lawsuit route eventually?
Well, I'm saying neither of them have any intention of doing that at this time. So all I'm saying is they did the right thing. They filed with the police, and they did that, by the way, before even retaining me, and they just did it because they felt that that was appropriate under the circumstances. And, but now, we want to know what the NFL is going to do. The Commissioner Goodell in the September 19th news conference, perhaps he wanted to just end the PR nightmare that he was suffering at the time, and just say, well, okay, I'm hiring these women, now I want to get it right, and then that would end it. But then the very next day, on September 20th, is when my client filed a police report in Texas alleging that she was raped there.
Okay, I only got about 20 seconds left here, Gloria. 20 seconds left right now. Are you going to get your chance to go after C.J. Spillman and ask him questions? And what's the first one you're going to ask him?
Well, I mean, it's the NFL that has to ask him questions. And then the question is C.J. Spillman going to sit there and give them any answers, as my client did? Or is he going to say, well, I have a Fifth Amendment right not to answer any questions because they may tend to incriminate me? I don't know what he's going to do because, I'm not in contact with him. He has an attorney. It would not be appropriate.
And we'll find out down the road, unfortunately. Gloria, we're going to be in touch. Thanks so much for joining us, Gloria Allred. We'll return.